I'm Carrie Mulder, stoner extraordinaire, and this is Most Stoniest Adventures. Hey everybody, Carrie Mulder, stoner extraordinaire here, and this is one of our very special topics, Most Stoniest Adventures. Now, this being the first story, the first adventure that I am telling you guys, I want to take you guys back to when I was 18, and I went to Europe for 6 months. And during my time there, I spent about 2 or 3 weeks in Paris. So when I first got there, I don't speak a lick of French, number one, and two, I can barely speak English. So I get there and I meet some people. I'm hanging out. I go to the catacombs. If you don't know what those are the fucking mass graves underneath Paris. And that's crazy, but anyway, so there I am. I'm in Paris, and I'm walking outside of the hostel that I'm staying in, and I go and I walk out, and there's a guy there who's from New York, and I hear him speaking English to somebody, and I'm like, bro, you speak English, I speak English, we're basically best friends in France, right? So we go, and we have the best night ever at Moulin Rouge with his buddy who's from France. His name's Mickey. And so me, Mickey, and I never got this guy's name from New York. I don't remember what it was. We go to Moulin Rouge. We go all over Paris. Get fucked up, right? The end of the night, we're sitting there. We're talking. And the New York guy says, bro, I got like 12 tabs of acid and I have to go back to California tomorrow, or New York, or the United States, or wherever, and do you guys just like want these? And so me and the guy, Mickey, the guy from France, who's also from New York, so he speaks English and French, very key, freaking anyway, we're like, we'll take those. So we take them, when we split them, we're like, we're gonna meet up tomorrow, we're gonna do acid with his French buddy, and it's gonna be dope, right? So I go home, pass out, I get there the next day, I'm all fucking excited for it, and I go over to the buddy's house, and there they are. We're there, fucking French guy, barely speaks any English, then there's me who only speaks English, and then there's the freaking guy from New York who speaks English and French. So we're sitting there, we take them, and like an hour and a half goes by. Nothing happens, right? And, I took 3. And this is the first time I ever did acid, by the way. So I took 3 tabs. The other guy took 2 or 3. And the other guy, Mickey, the guy who spoke English and French, took 7 tabs. It was insane. So we're sitting there, nothing's really kicking in yet, and right as we start to feel it, we're like, okay, let's go out, dude, we're going out, right? And I'm fucking like, right? We're going down the stairs, and we're laughing our asses off and shit, and we finally get to the bottom of the stairs, and there is this homeless guy, and I am talking, like, just homeless as fuck. Tall, bald, fucking scars, and fucking, welts and rashes and all kinds of shit all over his body, and one of his eyes is fucking super red and is sticking out. It's just like fucking out there. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and his fucking eye just locks onto me and fucking starts fucking coming right at me. And he starts screaming at me in French. I have no idea what this guy was saying at all. And I remember I'm just sitting there, and my high went from here to fucking here in like half a second, This guy's screaming at me, the other guys come up, and they're like, bro, leave him alone, he doesn't know, I don't know still what the fuck he was mad about. I think he's just a crazy homeless person. So, thank God my friend saved me, because he just out of nowhere just started screaming at me. So we're walking down the road, we're having a blast. And we're still not like really high yet at all. Like, we're just like got the giggles basically, and like a little bit of that eye thing. And we're walking down the street, and the brakes start coming out, and we're seeing everything. And the first thing the guy says is, dude, watch out for the cars, man. And it was like, what? And he was like, the lights are not your friends, man. And I was like, all right, bro, you know, lights aren't our friends. And we're walking all through Paris, and we get to, God, I forget what her name was. I think it was Princess Diane's memorial, where she died outside of that tunnel. We got there, and we're hanging out there, and fucking high as hell. And we walk a little farther, and I can see the Eiffel Tower. We're not far from it. And there it is, and I'm fucking looking at it, and I'm like, whoa, guys, it's crazy. And I seriously watched it do like a fucking wiggle worm. It was just like, and so that was fucking crazy. So we go in, we walk around, we have a blast, man. We walked around for like 5 hours just fucking on acid as fuck. And we get back to this guy's apartment, and we're sitting there, and we're frying now. Like, it is not even okay. Like, we are so fucking high. I'm looking over at this guy. He is puddle dripping sweat. Just fucking, Mickey, you took 7 abs. The guy who fucking from France is just like fucking, and I'm fucking all, you know. And I finally look at the clock, and I think, and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, holy shit, all my shit's still at the hostel. I gotta go get that. And I look over at Mickey, and I'm like, bro, I gotta go. And he's like, go, bro, go. And I was like, okay, man, okay. And I walked out of there, and I didn't really even say much else ever. And I never saw them again. Never once saw them again. So I go downstairs, and I get to the stairway, and now it's like, I was frying balls in that room, but when I had finally got outside, I realized, like, this is real as fuck. I'm alone in Paris on acid, and I have no idea where the fuck I'm going. Actually, I do. I was staying at the Woodstock Hostel in Paris, and it's on Sacré-Cœur, which I imagine is a mountain. You can make fun of me if I'm pronouncing any of this stuff wrong. Just go ahead and do that in the comments down below. And so it's Sacré-Cœur. So I'm walking down the road, and I can't find a fucking taxi, dude. Can't find a taxi. I'm finally getting there, and I get to this big roundabout. I don't even know where the fuck I am, and I know it's probably some famous place. If you know where it is, please tell me. And it's this big famous place, and it's a big roundabout with a big, you know, fucking statue or fucking monolith in the middle of it. And I'm getting there, and there's a bunch of taxis in a row, and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm gonna get out of here. And at the exact same time I see the taxis, I pull my map out, and I'm like, cool, this is where I need to go. And I'm like, cool, I need to go here. And I look back up, and I hear fucking and, you know, lightning and fucking thunder, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm sitting there, and I look up, and it starts pouring fucking rain. And not just like a little bit of rain. I have never seen rain pour this hard in my life. 5 o'clock in the morning in Paris, I watched this rain come down, and all of a sudden, I don't know where the fuck everybody came from, but all of a sudden, all the fucking clubs or wherever the fuck was going on around there, this intersection was completely empty, not a soul in it besides those taxis, and it started pouring. And I've got my map out, my map's getting soaked, I am fighting for a taxi, there's people everywhere, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. And I finally get into a taxi, and I'm like, thank God. And she's, you know, French, she speaks French, it's a French black woman. And I go, she goes, where do you want to go? And I open up my map, and my map is completely soaked, and you can't read a thing on the map. It's just completely soaked, destroyed. My fingers are tearing through it as I'm like ripping it apart, trying as fucking high as hell on acid. And I look, and I go, my map's broken. And she's like, where do you want to go? And I'm like, Sacré-Cœur? And she's like, huh? And I'm like, Sacré-Cœur? And I guess I said it wrong. Maybe it's, I don't know. Please tell me how to say it. So she drives me around for like 40 minutes, acting like she knew where this Sacré-Cœur place was. And finally, after the total was like 70 fucking euros, I was like, I have to get out of the car. And so she stops the car, and I go to like act like I'm pulling my wallet out, and I fucking shake for a little bit, and I'm like, no. And I literally freaking walk out of the cab. And she's like screaming at me, and I'm like, dude, you didn't take me anywhere, man. You didn't help me at all. You know, you can't take it, fucking 70 euros from me. She's screaming at me. And finally, I gave her like 40 euros. And I was just like, just go, please, you know, like, leave me alone. And so there I am, still lost in Paris, been driven around in a taxi for 30 minutes. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, still dark, you know, and I just start walking around. I just start walking around, and I fucking get to I finally get to a mountain that I'm positive Sacré Creux, so I start climbing in. I get to the top, and I have no idea where the fuck I am. I'm scared, you know. I don't know where the fuck I am. And there's this black guy there, big tall black guy, and I look at him and I go, maybe this guy can help me. I go, parlez-vous anglais? And he goes, yeah? And I was like, oh my god, dude, please tell me where the fuck the Woodstock Hostel is, man. I have no idea where I am. And he was like, I don't know. I was like, is this Sacré Creux? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, and I remembered something. I forgot what it was, but I was like, it's by this. And he was like, go down that way, and da-da-da-da-da. And I start going down the hill, and and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know where the fuck I am. Da-da-da-da-da. And I finally fucking find the hostel. I go inside. I finally get inside. I go and lay down, and I swear to God, 20 minutes later, they woke my ass up and made me pull all my shit out. They made everybody do this every morning, but so, you know, it got to the whatever kick-out time is in the morning. It felt like 10 minutes, and they were like, everybody get out, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, freaking, you know, blah, 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 blah. So they kicked me out, and I'm sitting on the side of the freaking road in front of the Woodstock Hostel waiting for them to open back up so I can go back to sleep with my backpack on the frickin' front end. And that's the end of the story. And it was beautiful. So, yeah, if you guys liked my acid trip in Paris, go ahead, leave me a like and a comment in the sections. And if you like a lot of my content, please go ahead and subscribe. So, yeah, I'm Carrie Mulder, Stoner Extraordinaire, and this is Most Stoniest Adventures.